Oh, great. Oh. Hold on. Okay. Rain World, downpour actually. No water to be seen. No watching today. Playing Rivulets for a few reasons. One, hold on. I should probably check if the game even works, because one of these mods might be broken. So we'll just have to check and see if that's anything happens there. Plink. Absolutely. Okay, no scavenger. That's a good sign. Oops. All right, I think I don't want these fruit. I hate that like weird like upwards boost that you get underwater sometimes. So you just bonk into the ceiling and then you don't get any speed. Okay, it looks like creatures are gone for real. And also, does this mod work? Yes, it does. Okay. I mean, if the music is all good, and like game audio and other stuff like that. Unfortunately, lap mod doesn't work, unless I've been told that it works, but in my experience, it doesn't. It still says that it's not updated in the remix menu. So who knows? Audio's fine. So basically you want to eat as much fruit as possible back in drainage and bring some into the shelter to eat faster. And I think you just want to eat two more bubble fruit and garbage wastes. Will the mods all break again? Maybe. They might. It's pretty likely, but I mean they get fixed pretty quickly too. I'm worried about keep that away from me specifically because it's I opened the menu to like change which creatures are disabled, and there was like just an error that's it was basically saying that it couldn't find a creature that's included in the Watcher DLC, which makes sense. I think it's like a big list of like, whoa, what oh man, I would really like to have lap mod right about now. Oh well. It's like it has a big list of like which creatures you want to disable, right? So you know, it makes it that it break when they're with like a bunch of new creatures that have been added in, right? I want to see if there's a way I can make this more consistent. Maybe like that. Okay, so a warp menu. That's right. I'm running this category partially because it's just a fun speedrun. Also because I can't play the Watcher right now. Oh man, that's really difficult. And also because I used to have the world record for this, and now I don't. Is this another eye pounce? Why can't I? There's like a memory leak. I don't know if I'm the only one with the problem, or if it's like a I don't know if I've heard anyone else talk about it, but it's like if I'm it's like when entering certain regions, like CPU usage and memory usage goes up really high. And it doesn't go away until I restart the game. So I'm calling it a memory leak, but I guess I'm not entirely sure that's correct. But I'm a little bit worried that if it is very specific to me for some reason, that it's not going to get fixed, and I'm just going to like be banished from the watcher. Oh, it's rain. I probably should have increased the cycle duration. I do want to speedrun the Watcher. I do enjoy the speedrun, except for maybe the beginning of the run. And also, creatures are still kind of rough. You know, you got a lot of scavengers, you got the Badlands, just kind of, you know, the only way that you can deal with Badlands easily. It's pretty inconsistent. Really stutter randomly until you restart. Okay, so I mean, I guess it's not great if other people also have the same problem, but also I want as many people to have the same problem as possible so that it's like a priority to fix it. Whoa, that was weird. That was like a... I could probably do like another wall pound sphere. Kind of difficult to line up consistently. So I don't have the world record in this run anymore. Now the person who has it is like a crazy person. They're a pizza tower speedrunner. And by speedrunner, I mean they have like all the world records. Like 90% of them. Or maybe even higher than that. It's crazy. And they also... They're just really good at like various like platformers. Doing like speedruns and challenges and such. So they started speedrunning. They started speedrunning. Well, I guess I think they've played random for a while, but they did like a bunch of speedruns recently, and they're like really good runs. Yeah, I think they've only recently like submitted speedruns, but they have played random for a while. But like their first run that they did was like hell percent, and it was like 3rd place on the leaderboards. But yeah, okay. And then they did Rivulet Moon, and they got world record there by like 20 seconds. Well, yeah, 20 seconds because I didn't submit my run, which was better. It was like a 7, like 11 time, and they have like a 6, like 50 something. They do eye pounces though, and eye pounces. I wish I could demonstrate, but I literally can't do them. It's basically like a slide pounce. So just do a regular slide pounce, right? Except do it instantly. So from a standstill, you can just do like the pounce part of the jump without sliding at all. And you need to press jump like twice in 3 frames or 2 frames. I don't know. You have to press jump really quickly. And it's so quickly that I just can't do it. I can do eye pounces when time is slowed down. So if you eat a mushroom or like if you're in the depths, it's way easier to do an eye pounce. But just doing them like normally, it's just impossible. So That's just a disadvantage I have, I guess. Can't do frame perfect tech. But the run isn't perfect. It can't be optimized more. But you know, the nature of this run is a little bit difficult. It's a very plink reliance, right? So if your plinks are bad, your run is bad. No, it popped like in the transition. It's kind of hard to focus on movement when you're spamming the grab button to pick up the bubble fruit as they pop. Pull hop there, which is actually a really funny use of the pull hops that Rivulet can do. Oh yeah, what you probably want to do here is eat the fruits in a previous room. Maybe like enter this room, eat them here, and then pick up like a rock or something. And the world record does this. They do a whiplash AI, or I guess an AI whiplash. I don't know what the name for this tech, but you do a turnaround, and it lets you do this jump, which is like not really that useful, but I guess it can get you a lot of height here. I'm not entirely sure that this is the best option. I guess it's not too difficult, right? But what I used to do for this room is I would pounce and then just jump like up there, right? So maybe this is slower, but it gives you way more heights. I guess it also has less setup time because this one you have to like turn around for a bit. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna keep doing the wall pounce. And I gotta remember how to do plinks consistently again. Ah, yeah, that can happen. Not great, but recoverable. So yeah, garbage waste is where like most of the movement is, which is difficult because it's garbage wastes. And then like shoreline is basically just plunk simulator. I should actually go and watch the rest of the run for reference, just to see if they do anything unique in shoreline. They do get a plunk in this room. That's crazy. Do they throw boosts? They don't even throw boosts. The water isn't even particularly low. I guess I could just try to get that consistently. Also, you know, this is on the new version of Rain World. I don't know what that changes. How different is this run from the run that I did like a few weeks ago? We're gonna have to, I think pretty soon we're gonna have to decide on like speedrun rules and stuff for the new version, and also for the Watcher. I guess maybe that isn't that bad. Hold on. See, I think that was the wave was too high. Didn't mean to land there. That's actually kind of a time loss. I guess I could try to wait for the water to be like pretty low. Like right now. Okay. Maybe it's worth it to wait there. Now. Also trying to get a feel for like my position off screen. Okay. But that was actually kind of ideal. The way that worked. Like wait right now and then go. Okay, that should not be that consistent. What? There we go. Okay. I know that's good to know for that room. Most of the time, I'm just going way too far here. So I guess this room is just too short. Like, no matter the angle of the plink, I'm going all the way to the very end. So actually, I guess that's just to be expected. Damn. Wait, hold on. That's interesting. So what they do in this room is jump here and then just walk off the platform. Don't even jump into the water. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Spend less time in the air. I'm sorry about that. Minor case of serious brain damage. Oh wow. Without the fall damage, that'd be perfect. So this room is an interesting case where the angle really matters. It's such a long room. You really want the shallowest angle you can get. Yeah, they got like the perfect angle in this run. Was it doing a small jump there? Yeah, they just do a tiny jump into the water like that. I wonder if that makes it more consistent. I mean, they gotta do it for a reason, right? Let's see, now at that time I didn't go all the way. Oh no, hold on. I had a consistent strategy for this. As consistent as you can get for plinking. There we go. That's the angle that you want. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, there we go. That's the secret sauce. that was that was crazy. Save states? Not really. It's more like just a position that I teleport back to. Nothing else in the world changes. I mean, I have creatures disabled, so if there were creatures, they're completely unaffected by this. Oops. Okay, so now movement for this room. It's a little, or moon is a little bit tricky. Yeah, that's just one of Rivulet's abilities. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's a hold on. They do something interesting here. I want to do this correctly. This is really funny. And then it'd be better if I got the pounce. There we go. So what they do is they try to jump up, and if they don't make it up, well, it's so inconsistent jumping out of water. You either just make it up, or you don't get any distance at all. But what they do as a backup is, if they mess up the jump, they grab the pole, which you can also mess up. Yeah, this room is annoying. That jump out of the water is pretty important. And also this wall jump is really annoying. Because you're going to be spinning from the backflip, and that can mess things up. And I don't have an item here. I should have an item here. But I guess as a backup, a jump boosted pounce works. And of course you can just mess up the last bit too. That's pretty much the run. Okay. So I know everything that I need to do. Gotta respect that. So real. See, look at this. I don't want to be wasting my time doing this. Didn't even get the jump boost there. Anyway, I guess as a backup, you could do this. Yeah, that's an option. Yeah, that was pretty good. Let's see if I can do a whole run with no creatures. I didn't even restart. Hold on. It would be amazing to have save states in Rain World. I think... Okay, so this is something I feel very conflicted about. Wait, don't stop doing that. I always jump up there, but it's not the best way to get food for this run. If you really cared about getting a good speedrun time, then the best way to do it is to practice efficiently. That's basically it. I mean, obviously more practice is good, but practicing well is also important. And one way to do that is to split up the whole run into a lot of segments. And honestly, the shorter the segments, the better. Practice good, practice well. Because if your segment is the whole run, that's not very good. Also, the swimming is awful. It's not very good swimming. But if you're like, I'm just gonna play the whole run, and that's my practice, that's not great. It just takes a long time, and you'll be evenly. I mean, yeah, you will be evenly practicing the entire run, but also you're probably gonna practice the end of the run a little bit less, in case you ever restart or stop in the middle of a session, you know. And also, you know, some parts of the run might be more difficult, and you want to focus on those specifically. So maybe like 2/3 of the way through the run, you want to just like a really hard part, and you want to practice that specifically. Just starting at that point, practicing that little bit, and just restarting that over and over again, way more than the rest of the run. That is probably gonna help you a lot more. So by the time you do get to that difficult section, you're gonna be way more prepared for it. And the problem with Rain World is that it's messy. It's not 100% consistent with like Celeste. Let's talk about Celeste. Celeste is very consistent. When you enter a room, it's pretty much, no matter where you're entering the room from, it's going to be the same state. Whoops, I forgot. Because in a speedrun, you know, you don't really get any new abilities, and you know the new abilities that you do get, they are specific to certain areas of the game, right? This is hard. So in this one specific area, you have this ability. Elsewhere, you have normal abilities, right? So it's consistent, right? Oh, you know, this would probably work. There's probably tools out there, like mods and stuff for Celeste, where if you just teleport yourself to a room and just practice that room. And you don't need to worry about anything else that might interfere with the run in that particular room. Just don't worry about it. But that's clean. But in Rain World, we have creatures, and creatures are random. But they are a part of the game that you need to learn how to deal with. The thing is, you know, depending on when you get to a certain area, creatures will be different. So if you shelter, when you wake up, creatures are going to be in certain positions pretty consistently, right? Because you just woke up, it's the beginning of the cycle. So you can expect like, oh, this creature just came out of its den in this room, and you know, this and that, and whatever. And then as time goes on in the cycle, creatures will kind of wander around and you know, change their position from their starting shelter. That's good. That's a good place to land. So the further you get from your shelter that you slept in, the more random creatures will be, essentially. So if you, let's say you make a save file, because you can do this, you can go into your files, make a copy of the save file in a specific shelter, and then if you want to start from that segment, you just load in that save file, right? Well, you have to like paste it into your folder and then delete the old save. So you know, it does take a little while, but you know, you can save at a specific shelter. But the thing is, saving at that shelter, unless you do that in the actual routes, in the actual like as part of the speedrun, it's gonna be different because creatures will be coming out of their dens. You know, they will not be distributed the same as if you were to get there in a normal run. So if you want to simulate the experience of actually getting there to run, you have to start in the actual shelter that you would start in, which might mean that you're starting at the very beginning. And it kind of defeats the purpose of making a segment like that to practice at, right? Obviously, if you have creatures disabled, that's pointless, but you know, it's important to practice with creatures still. I don't like that pounds. That's something that I thought about doing. That I could try to like segment my runs a lot more and practice individual parts, including creatures, to help deal with them, right? I don't know if there's a way to like make creatures the same as they would be in a normal run for practice. I guess for the Watcher, for practicing the Watcher, whenever you exit out of a portal, it's like the start of a cycle, you know? So if you just teleport to a region from a portal, it's the same as entering the portal normally, right? So I guess I could practice like that. That's pretty nice to know. But also, counter to that, in the Watcher you do get spoilers, Watcher spoilers, if anyone's still avoiding those. In the Watcher, you do get upgrades to your ability. And sometimes these are important to use in the route as the speedrun, right? And if you like start a new run, teleport to yourself to that region, you're not gonna have the same abilities. So you do need to put in some effort to like replicate like how many echoes you've met up to that point. Wow. That kind of makes it a little bit annoying. Goodness, can you let go? I guess there is the button to restart the cycle. If you have dev tools on, you could press R and it just like restarts the cycle from the shelter. I guess I could just like use that a lot. If I'm here normally, can I do a slide bounce? Does that space me well? Sort of. Yeah, how many times have I opened up a new campaign, teleported to all the echoes? In Chibi Canopy, it's C12. In Shaded, it's A08. And in Farm Raise, it's like, I don't know, it's got the like long name. It's like right here. Maybe it's like a BO4 like W or something. BO1W. Right, it's this room. There's no W's here, so I forgot, but... Please, developer... I have heard from Iced that the developers did want a way to skip the intro, but they just didn't want new players to accidentally use it. So please, just lock it behind completing the campaign. Or put it in the remake settings behind the cheats, right? Because that's the thing, right? You can go to more select cuts, you can go to cheats, you can do this, and then do this, and then do this. And like here would be the option to like skip intro, right? Which is like really out of the way. And it's like, hey, you're cheating right now. You know, you're not doing this the intended way. And you have to like the warning is obvious. This would be a good place to put that option. Or I think the alternative would just be like right here. Once you beat the campaign, you'd be like, here's the option to skip the intro, right? So I hope that they add that. Please add it, developers. That the speedrun will actually be like peak. Also fix the memory leaks and the barnacles and everything else. This is a completely unrelated idea that I just had. Are there any like ongoing stories, like TV shows or like comics, I don't know, some sort of media that is like made over time where what is happening is influenced by the audience? Because I had an idea for some reason. Where did this come from? Imagine like a villain in some story, and this villain, its powers come from its perception from other people. Let's say it's like just like very like simple, like negative or positive. If people like this villain, then they are more powerful, and if people don't like them, they are less powerful. And at whatever point in the story, the strength of the villain is determined by the audience reception of the villain. So if there's like reviews or like discussions that are saying, you know, this like chapter, this episode, you know, they weren't that, I really didn't like the villain, they would literally become weaker in like the next, you know, segment of the story. And then, you know, they'd have to redeem themselves in order to get their powers back. I should have eaten these earlier. But also, that's kind of an ephemeral thing, you know? It only really works at the moment that it's being released, right? For anyone who is like, who's watching it, you know, years in the future, they're not gonna have the context for like why things are happening. Heck was that? Like I actually did the slide in the crawl turn vault inputs. Yeah, good job. It's funny how this run is like the first run where that actually utilizes the jump stored slide pounces for Riv. Can I do this when entering a room? It's kind of difficult. It's very difficult, actually. Okay. No, okay. That was not very good. Like I said, you'd get the point. It's so hard to focus. I'm like trying to time my jump inputs, but also like spamming grab at the same time. The orb, pretty good. I mean, it's already like crazy amount of distance that you get with like a regular slide bounce. So it's just that, but more. I mean, where's that orb? Oh, is it back there? How did I miss it? That's the problem with getting these bubble fruits in the middle of a run. You're trying to run and then pick them up as they pop. I can tell when I hit the wall from watching the input display. Technically, the input display is a very small advantage. Because it kind of tells me if the inputs are being registered or not. Because if you're like off screen, you can't see what you're doing. But you can look at the input display and see like, oh, I'm stunned right now, I can't move. Which you wouldn't normally be able to see when you're off screen. Or if it's like the, I don't know, it's pretty limited. Like when you're waking up and the screen is fading in, you can do inputs for a short time, or you can see yourself. But yeah, that's not too useful because the shelter is still opening up. Yep, it popped before I could throw boost with it. Okay, this is a good cycle. Nope, I messed it up anyway. First console player. Wait, what did I say? That was turn storage. That was a backflip that I got there. Forget unfortunate developments. Unfortunate console players. No, my jump. That was a small plink. Actually getting rocks. Trying to join Insta Plink. Welcome to the stream. We are plinking here. Yeah, that is a good backup to know. Turning around there, that's annoying. I need to get a good run. This is with cheats. I don't know if it's entirely obvious if I just say practice run, what I'm doing here. Because for me, a practice run is using mods to get rid of RNG elements, so I can just focus on practicing movements. But for some people, a practice run, stop doing that. For some reason, for some people, a practice run is just doing a normal speedrun, but if you die, you don't reset. So you're guaranteed to make it to the end eventually, right? But I don't like doing those for practice, because if I'm not recording, like what if I accidentally get a really good run? Like, oh shoot, that's just a wasted run, I guess. You know? Kind of the point of practice, or part of the point of practice runs is that I don't have to record, I don't have to set up all that stuff. It's like the most difficult part of the run. This underwater tunnel. This Rivulet is so hard to control underwater. Which is it still confuses me to this day why they would make the aquatics like that hard to control underwater. That's like their whole thing. Also, if you're wondering, I don't have any Watcher music in the playlist yet. I don't know when I want to add it, but not now. Like the hardest thing to do. And this. That's also really hard wall pounds to get right there. And that one is easy to do accidentally. Thank you. I've not even heard that much Watcher music. I mean, obviously I have, but I feel like I don't remember any of it. There we go. That's good. Landing up here is probably ideal. There's a handful of tracks here and there that I think stand out. Also, I kind of feel like that's like it's doing its job. You know, the music is not the focus. It's just to add atmosphere, to add to the like exploration. Hello, welcome to the stream. Think you have time, just like the rest of the DLC. Yep. Switch chat is non-existent. Yep. Happens sometimes. No, my Ploink. No, my Ploink got eaten. There's a chance Twitch chat will be active in like an hour or so. No guarantees. There we go. That's a nice wide pounce to get. That was too late. I'm not used to the timing of just falling into the water there. And then just like no planks for the rest of this. Thank you. Am I in the wall? I was all the way over there somehow. Be careful with plunks, guys. You don't want to end up in the back rooms. I hate jumping out of water. It's so inconsistent. It was too powerful. Did anyone hear the rumor that Andrew is the one who made the barnacles? Thank you, Moon. I'm kind of questioning Andrew a little bit as a developer. Because you know what else Andrew made? The end campaign. At least I'm pretty sure that was... No, it had to be. Jungle leeches. I think he might have also been the one to make that old mod that put rot everywhere. And challenge 70, I think like we really got to reconsider. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do. He also, well, actually, did he make the Mirror's Vultures? Look at the dev commentary for that. Yeah, and she was the lead developer of more Slugcats expansion. He made the original like Slugcat mod that just added the characters and nothing else. To create a single good creature. Okay, what is up? I don't know if this is just a common thing. Apparently Downpour, I guess Rainworld in general, a lot of bug fixes have been made by modders as a mod. So some dude, some guy, some random person was like, "Oh, there's a problem with this game. Let me make a mod to fix it." And then the Downpour devs were like, "Oh, nice fix. Let me just add it to the game." And so they just take their mod and just add it to the part of the game, right? I feel like that's kind of strange. I mean, I'm sure they asked for permission, but like, how hard would it be to like fix it yourself? There we go. Like, what? Okay, what are the bugs? Artificer? No. All of More Slugcats expansion was a mod. But like, I just looked at the wiki page for Mirror Vultures, and it's like their priority used to be broken, which was the thing, right? They would prioritize the player over everything else, and this was fixed. But you know how it was fixed? By integrating a mod that fixed the bug. It's like, okay, I guess maybe I'm not understanding what exactly caused the bug. But surely the priorities of creatures is just a bunch of numbers, right? You look at the creature file or whatever, wherever that's all that data is stored. And it's like, oh, you know, the priority number for like slug cats is like too high. Let's just lower the number. Like, that seems like the easiest fix in the world. You're just changing like one number around. But nope, that's a different mod that they had to yoink instead of just like changing the number themselves. But I guess that it means it has to be more complicated. Everything is hard-coded. I should have eaten these fruits, and there goes my food. Okay. Is that, if I looked hard enough at the code, would I see that Mirror Vultures have incorrect priority, and that somewhere else in the code is just a bunch of stuff that undoes that priority that's messed up? That'd be so silly. What do I know? I'm probably just making a bunch of assumptions. Good cycle. Just kidding, it was too low. We're not doing this joke again. Wrong room, wrong room. Hold on, go back. It's in this room. Okay, I should not have done a second point. I didn't think that one would go for so far. So like, this is already slower than world record, this run. The state Rainworld is in. Yeah. That's how it is. I mean, it really shouldn't. Okay, I guess, you know, this is not something that I completely understand. But like, how necessary is a publisher for Rainworld, which already was published? So the game released, Rainworld released, like 7 years ago, and then they updated the game. For the development of Downpour and the Watcher, I mean, it's basically just like more updates. The game already like, I guess for stuff like distribution for like ports. I mean, if it was like just the game being released on Steam and like the DLC was just like an update, like that probably wouldn't be cause them any problems. But another publisher, but it's their game. They should be able to do whatever they want. But I also kind of wonder, like, what if Morse Legacy was just a mod, right? I mean, it'd kind of just be the same. It'd be free. I think you'd have like all the same content. Maybe other things like Expedition and Jolly Co-op wouldn't be included, but those are also just mods, right? I feel like more and more, as time goes on, I kind of get the feeling that all this content is just a bunch of mods packaged together. Like Morse Legacy is a mod, Expeditions is a mod, Jolly Co-op was a mod. Rain Meadow and Bingo Mode are mods. They aren't even like part of any DLC or official release, but they are like incredibly high quality. I even got to be, a little bit of a part of the development of the Bingo mod. And then what is the Watcher? The Watcher is a bunch of modded regions that had connections removed, that had creatures removed, and that were like nerfed. Like Aether Ridge used to be really challenging, and it got nerfed, but it did get nerfed enough to make it fun. But it's also no longer like just a challenge. It's like a really weird middle ground where it's like too challenging compared to the rest of the DLC, but also not challenging enough to be interesting on its own. I don't know, man. I guess like console players miss out on all that. That's unfortunate. No. MSC. Before, okay, so as far as I understand, Downpour, no, not Downpour. Morse Legacy expansion was pretty much finished about a year before it released, which is also when the original developers came back into the process, right? So in that year before Downpour released, it was pretty much finished content-wise, and that time was spent on integrating all of the mods together and also cleaning up any like rough edges and making it like suitable to be official DLC, right? I don't know if I'm correct in this. This is kind of an assumption, but the Morse Legacy developers were adding the new regions. They were adding the story, right? That was part of that would be part of it if it was a mod. And I'm pretty sure like if it did release as a mod, it would have pretty much all the same content minus like all the like stuff that maybe I guess we'd miss out on Remix. Although wasn't Remix also a mod? Hold on. Yeah, I guess Downpour did come with all the quality of life stuff with Remix mode. But even then, like, is it better to be like approved by the official developers? Maybe it would have been better if it just like let itself be a mod and just be different and not follow base game completely, because it already doesn't do that very well. I don't need to jump boost there. I don't know why I'm doing that. And the thing that's really unfortunate about the Watcher that I learned is that the original mods actually had more content. Like, actually, I don't know if this was 100% part of, like, the mod itself, but apparently, just straight just died. Okay. That's cool. Like Coral Caves. In Coral Caves, in the Watcher DLC, there is a room with a bunch of orange lizards. And it's like, why are there orange lizards here? There's something to do with, like, technology, because orange lizards are normally, like, they're in sky islands, they're on the wall, you know, they're around, like, these communication areas. What are these orange lizards doing in Coral Caves? And the answer is that they're there because they replaced a modded creature that was unique to Coral Caves, where it was like an aquatic form of orange lizards, basically. So they removed, and I think they removed it because they didn't get permission from the person who made that creature or something like that. Also, you know, a lot of these modded regions had connections, and a lot of them were sub-regions. It's like Coral Caves and, like, Turbulent Pumps, those were connected together, but now they're split apart. And Turbulent Pump is, like, kind of too small to be, like, a region on its own. Don't remember Coral Caves having unique creatures? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It might have been, like, an extra mod that was, like, just kind of tacked on the side that, like, felt fitting, I guess. I guess that's kind of possible with mods, you know, like, one person can make the region and then another person can just make a bunch of creatures that are fitting for that region and say, hey, here's a mod that I made for this other mod. And it kind of, like, became part of it, even though it's not, like, directly connected. Oh, you probably can't send links in YouTube chat. But what's also kind of unfortunate is, hold on. How much, well, maybe it's not 100% unfortunate, but, like, how much content was added by the Watcher DLC? I guess the Echo, right? The Echo is kind of what ties everything together. Ancient Urban kind of agreed to be one of the better regions. I think Signal Spires is completely new. And all, like, the special regions, like, okay, more Watcher spoilers, I guess, sort of. Like, Outer Rim, the rotted variants of regions, Shattered Terrace, I think. But, like, all the Outer Rim stuff, like, I don't have any great things to say about that, unfortunately. Yeah, like, the new creatures are, like, really cool conceptually, and it's just, like, they just don't do enough. I guess the hope was that the Watcher would be a new world, right? We've explored base game world enough, but let's move on. And that they did deliver. So I mean, there's still the intro section, which, you know, I'm not a fan of, but it's not a big deal. But it's not connected through gates. Rain World has these connections between regions, where not only are there like a few rooms in between regions where it's like, you know, as you're going from garbage waste or from industrial to garbage waste, you kind of notice the environment change. There's like the pool of like garbage worms. There's also like tends to be more scavengers around that area. The environments change as you go higher up, like Sky Islands and Chimney Canopy and the wall, especially the wall. Like, that's like, you really get the feeling that you've actually climbed up that high, you know? You can see above the clouds. Like the transition from farm raised is like subterranean, like going down that like pit, and then like going like diving like further and further down into the earth until you're in the void sea, right? Like Signal Spires, for example. Signal Spires is a cool region, but you're just like already way up in the sky. You don't have to climb up there. You just like start up that high, right? What's below Signal Spires? Who knows? We don't get to explore that area because you just get sent through a teleport to another area. What about Verdant Waterways? I really like Verdant Waterways. I like the backgrounds a lot. The kind of like feeling of being in like this massive like maybe like underwater like or underground reservoir, or like maybe it's like a huge building or something. But also like, what is the context around Verdant Waterways? Who knows? There isn't really an answer to that. Like, isn't it interesting that the entrance on the far right side of Verdant Waterways, it looks a lot like Shoreline, right? It even has some like similar like this kind of like floor where it kind of looks like a gates, right? There's even a room that literally looks like Karma Gates, right? What is up with that? And I really like when games can let you ask questions and eventually give you answers, right? That's an like absolutely fascinating thing about Outer Wilds, is that after you beat the game, I mean, the game is all about asking questions, right? But even after you beat the game, you would still just like, I wonder what is up with this, or like how did these people do this thing? Or you can ask so many questions about the world, and there are answers. Some line of dialogue in this area, some like little environmental detail in this area. There's always answers for like every question you could possibly have. Rip. Yeah, it's all over. Let me just go back here. There we go. But like by being disconnected, we lose that. And the Watcher, it's like, what is up with Signal Spires? It's like such a cool area. That's cool. It's such a cool area. The background is fascinating. The sky whales are fascinating, but there's just no answers anywhere. Maybe we'll get answers later. I guess that'd be nice. Man, I got worse at that room. That's also something that Downpour does really well. By letting you see into the past and future. If you ask questions about the world, you might get an answer in a different timeline, right? It's only been an hour. What? An hour and 20 minutes. What the heck? What about like Desolate Tract? Like Desolate Tract is such a cool area. It's like one like huge tunnel. It's like all like it's desolate, it's dusty. There's like these like weird like creatures roaming around. What a cool area. We know absolutely nothing about it. It's just there. Like, wouldn't it be fascinating if there was a region like Desolate Tract, and it had some reason to exist, it had some connection to some other part of the world, and you're like, oh, this is why Desolate Tract is here, because it's this, you know, I don't know. I don't even, like, I can't even come up with something. Even the regions that have some variance in their time, like the way that Aether Ridge and the surface are, like, the surface is like a future version of Aether Ridge, or Fetid Glen or Salination is like some future past version of the other one. I forget which order it is. I feel like that doesn't even give you any answers either. It's like, oh cool, you get to see what this area looked like in the past or future, but it just is like cold or like it's falling apart. It's like, I don't know. That doesn't really give you any more interesting information. It's not like 5 pebbles collapsed and there's now an ecosystem living from the residual heat of the structure because the rest of the world is cold, right? No, I think it's kind of fine. But I understand why people have a problem with the rifts, but also I'm kind of saying this because you know, what if the DLC wasn't a bunch of modded regions? It was regions that were created just for the purpose of the DLC to be connected together with some sort of purpose that you can piece together by like discovering or by exploring the regions, right? I don't know if we're going to get more Rainwolf content in the future. I feel like it's only bound to get worse, is the feeling that I get. Like, oh, we have, you know, we have this beloved indie game that has all these fans. Let's just keep making content for it forever. Except we don't actually want to make content. We just want modders to make all the content so that we can package it into a DLC and then, you know, charge you for it. And also, like, mess up a bunch of stuff, too. I think in the next 10 years, there's going to be some game inspired by Rain Worlds that's going to be really good. That'll be in 10 years. It's always hard to think about some game in the future. A lot of times, yeah, it just fades away. People lose interest, and you're just like, oh yeah, you know, we used to play that game, but not anymore. Some games are just like forced to like stay alive by, you know, any means necessary. I think this fight is one of the best regions. Did people have a problem with that region? Also, didn't the screenshots not have the like structures in the background? I feel like that was a discussion, right? It's like but there's no iterators in the background. That must mean that this world isn't near an iterator, which, I mean, now we know that you can't get any answers out of that. I didn't go down the pipe. I can't do that slide pounce. I've tried it like 7 times. Oh, there was that. Well, hold up, I totally forget the name of that game. What was that game where it's like you play as this like little like slug-like creature and there's like a bunch of robots and stuff? What was that game called? Not gonna be like Rain World at all? Well, it's unique. It's interesting. I've been thinking about Silk Song a lot. You know, speaking of 10 years in the future. Because there's actually kind of a lot that we know about Silk Song. About like some of the items in the game and some of the like areas. Like most of it is like pretty early on, I think. There's actually like 2 features in the game that are, you know, don't sound great to me. And that's I guess if you're trying to avoid like any amount of spoilers for Silk Song, then you can leave for a bit in July. Tomorrow for sure. But there's these like items that have limited uses that you can recharge at a bench. Are they benches in Silksong? I don't know. At like a save point. Which is like, I feel like the moment you have an item that has limited uses, you just never want to use it at all. Like, why use it against these regular enemies when my basic attacks do fine, right? So I guess I'm just never going to use them. Triple affirmative is A, not I. There's also quests. This was like in one of like the old trailers, right, for Silksong? Like, oh boy, a quest system. But when I think of quests, I think about like an NPC being like, oh, could you please fetch these items for me? And then you go and you grab some items, you gotta run back to that NPC and they're like, oh, thank you so much. Like, why did I do that for like some random like consumable item I'm never gonna use? Six years in development. It's hard to imagine a game being in development for so long without there being some sort of problem. Yeah, but also with like solo developers, it's like there's not as much like pressure to like be working on it all the time, and that's probably like healthy for them. But it also probably means that they're gonna get a lot less done in the same time as like an actual like dev team. Where am I? Okay. But, you know, they probably know what they're doing, actually. It's a little bit unfortunate, so like, because, you know, for like, let's say there's like a new like indie team that's making a game. I'm not even gonna know that game exists until it's like at least a few years from being finished. More likely like 1 or 2 years, right? Is when they like do like some announcement or some trailer or something, and I'm like, oh, this looks like a cool game. Luckily, it's only 1 year for being released. But then, you know, the game releases, it does well, and then for like the next year or two, it gets like updates or bug fixes or whatever. And then they finally get around to starting development on the next game, and who knows how long that's gonna take. Except it only like, okay, this terrain is like really weird. Only like 1 or 2 years has to pass for people to get bored of the old game and be like, come on, where's the new content? Where's the new update? And it's like, sorry, it's gonna take another like 5 years to finish this new game, you know? I wonder if AAA studios ever look at indie games and think maybe we should do that. Because surely with their like team sizes and whatever processes they use for game developments, surely they could make an indie or a game with like indie, or how do I say this? A game with a much lower scope with such a large dev team. It would only take like a year, right? You know, they don't need to worry about like fancy 3D graphics and like optimization and stuff, which they probably don't do anyways. And they don't need to worry about like 20 like completely unrelated systems that are just kind of thrown in for the sake of adding like more content. Double. I guess so. I guess like Nintendo makes 2D games still, right? But they're always 3D. They're not gonna make another pixel art game, which is kind of sad. Because, you know, pixel art is like outdated and old and only for the retro games, right? The new Enter the Gungeon is 3D. Which is some people have mixed feelings on it. Open world, yeah, it has to be an open world too. You need to have like all these random NPCs with their own like schedules and, you know, interaction with the players and quests and stuff. I guess that's true in some sense. You only need to make a 3D model once, and then it's just animation, right? For pixel art, you're recreating the entire sprites for every single frame of animation that you do. You want to make a new cutscene? Well, make more animations. Draw out the same character 20 more times. But I mean, a lot of indie game developers go with pixel art for budget reasons, right? Maybe that's just like lack of experience with 3D like modeling and animation. They're just like more comfortable with pixel art. But there's ways that you can, you know, more limited methods of pixel art that are like more economical. But they probably wouldn't want to go with that. Had generated games. How many years until the world ends? Really? I mean, you can make an AI. You can use AI tools to make any individual part of a game, right? You can get it to generate the art assets, although I don't think the current image generators are like very good for assets because, you know, I don't know what they do about transparency or if like the scale of things will be correct, or I'm sure you can find a way to get it to work. You can get it to write the code, although I don't know how that scales with like an actual like large project. But like a process of like push a button with like a prompt, because you know that's kind of the way that a lot of AI is kind of working, where it's like given a prompt, make something, right? So that something could be more text, it could be an image, it could be a video, right? But a video is like a bunch of images together, right? So what if instead of a bunch of, well, okay, the complexity goes up really quick. But maybe someday there will be like insert prompts and then you just get a video game and you just play it and it has like hours of content, right? And some people are going to probably try really hard to make that kind of system work. I mean, you could generate a game right now, yeah. Would it be like an arcade game with like on a single screen with enemies that just like spawn in forever and like infinite like waves with you know, the same content repeated over and over again? Sure, you could probably do that. Would you spend most of your time bug fixing? Maybe. Like anyone could do that. I could do that right now, and I'm awful at game development. But it's very easy to get carried away and like try to actually make the game good, and then you're like, oh, now it's difficult to make. That's what always happens for me. I come up with some concept, I'm like, this time, this is gonna be an easy game to make. And then, you know, a month later, I'm like, nope. It's too complicated again. No, what's up with that like fake plank? A jump sword somehow. So yeah, it's possible, but also like those are games that you can like run on a calculator. I think I've made Snake. I've made Tetris. Although I think it broke. I at some point in time I had a functional version of Tetris, but that time has gone. Of course they're on Steam. Always the highest quality games on Steam. Hold up, I'm gonna look at my games right now. What is some like random something I've made? Has anyone else seen? Shoot, I guess you're not on Twitch right now. I was on a Twitch stream a while back, typing something in the chat, and it gave me the option to write, or I guess like to assist my message with AI. Like what? Like yes, please help me converse with other people. I really need the help. I'm sure that this AI really knows the context of the stream and all the other messages and the rest of like the game and speedruns and stuff. YouTube also does this. No, that's already happening. There's already plenty of like coding assistant AI stuff out there. I mean, I think something that some people don't understand. AI, well, I guess more accurately, machine learning has been used for many years. Or like ChatGPT made it, you know, a very well-known thing. Like a lot of like search algorithms or like YouTube recommendations and stuff. All of that is like all machine learning, and that's why those companies are obsessed with gathering data. I think ChatGPT was notable because it was the first one that kind of sounded like natural. Like a lot of AI generated text was like kind of messy and random, and actually in kind of a hilarious way. There was a very sad transformation from AI being something really funny to something that's just like kind of like really like sad and generic, but like overused too. AI Dungeon was hilarious. For some period of time, I don't know, I have no idea what AI Dungeon is now. It's probably a lot worse, but it used to be just like chaos. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're unfortunately talking about artificial intelligence right now. YouTube chat, yeah. Twitch is dead right now. You stole all my viewers. How dare you? Nah, it's chill. I mean, just like AI in general. Someone asked if you could use AI to generate video games, and the answer is yes, but not very good. Like if you want to make like a single screen, like really simple like arcade game, it's definitely possible. If you wanted to generate the assets for the game too, you know, you could do that, but it's going to be a more involved process, and you're also going to have to do a lot of work yourself, like scaling everything properly and maybe getting rid of like backgrounds or like making things transparent or whatever. Although I don't know if we could do that. Can they generate like transparent images? I think that'd be really difficult for them because it needs to know like the outline of everything. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that they want. There's a lot of things that they don't want the AI to be able to do. I didn't get screwed. Because these large language models, they're just trained on like just a ton of text, just everything possible. The chaos, the first like few months of ChatGPT was kind of peak AI. I think it's all gone downhill since then, because it was much more open and people got it to do all sorts of things and it was hilarious. And then they're like, shoot, this is really bad. We can't have it just do things. So they then probably spent the rest of their effort trying to make it like censor everything that it says. Yeah, I saw that. Death by Mole Lizard. Pretty unfortunate. Are they supposed to be getting smarter? They're not really getting smarter, they're just kind of becoming larger. As far as I'm aware. Because there was kind of a property where the quality of the AI was, it improved significantly based on the size of the training data and the number of like parameters or whatever else there is. A bit better at hiding stupidity. Like, oh, if we just make it like 4 times larger, it becomes like better at like language and like conversations and stuff. So I guess that's the way we make them better, just scale them even larger and larger. Actually got that Plink. Never before seen. You get access to your PC. That sounds like a great idea. That's kind of getting closer to what's it called? General intelligence, something artificial general intelligence, where it's much more flexible in what it's able to do. Instead of like given an input, it will give you, input output, I opened up Game Maker. What was I gonna do? Hold on, is this what I think it is? Oh yeah. Hold on, I'll show this on screen in a bit. Here's this game. Oh, this one's actually reached. Oh, those actually connected. Were those even close to each other at all? So this is this is Suika game. But I made it myself because it's like the simplest game ever. Well, sometimes I see games that get really popular. And I'm like, wow, this looks like the easiest game to make ever. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna go make it. And here it is. I mean, it doesn't look good because I'm not an artist, but you know, it's like just like a physics. It's like built-in physics system of just like circles that collide with each other. So it's like the simplest thing ever. And then if two of the similar ones touch, they become a larger one, and that's it. That's the game. Congratulations. And you know the strategy. There's so much space here. I didn't really balance this correctly. You could just kind of spam this. The actual game has a cooldown on when you can drop them, but you know this is a pretty useful strategy. If I learned anything, see there we go. Port to entry. Yeah, use some like random like asset pack. I should have done this day one. Vampire Survivors is another game that's like so simple, but it's like a unique enough concept for it to do really well. Do I have another game like this? I do have one. Hold on. Is there something I can? Hold on, just a second. Just changing some numbers around. Uh-oh, hold on. Did I break it? Uh-oh. It's not loading. That's concerning. Hold on. What is this object? Maybe this number will work instead. Oh, okay, okay. It works, it works. Let me show this in a second. And it even has sound effects. I know, crazy. So you probably know what this is. I'm not playing the game. I set it up to play automatically. That was the main inspiration for this. If I could recreate the system, the Zen ball, where it basically finds like the best possible shot. Also, the resolution is all messed up, but you probably can't even see that. So basically what it's doing is it's just scanning like 1,000 different angles and just counting up the score, like doing a simulation of like what the shot would look like, and then just picking the angle with the highest score. And it's actually really cool because there's one peg that has like way higher score, and it's always gonna aim for this one. And the red ones too, usually. And it just hits like crazy trick shots constantly. Like, there we go. It was able to hit that other one from that bounce. And then it resets. I was just kind of like wondering, like, what kind of shots are possible, you know? Because this like searches like, well, it can search more angles. It can try to be more precise, and because it's, you know, very chaotic, you know, that does make improvements. But there's some things that are just like straight up impossible. This is a very fun thing just to have in the background. The sound effects help a lot. I think the sound effect is like the mining sound in Terraria that I just changed the pitch of. It's either that or like something else. I don't know. Terraria has like a billion sound effects that are pretty easy to just yoink. Anyway. Oh wait, there's a score too. There's some cool things I could do. Let's add like what I can do, I can add a box, and if the ball is in the box, it gains points. And what happens is it's gonna prioritize being in that box for as long as possible. So hold on, you can't see it yet. Hello? OBS? Oh, there it is. So here it is, this little green zone. And what it likes to do is hit the ball such that it like kind of floats right here. So it's not for that long. I mean, there's only so much that I can do, right? But it's kind of weird that you can see that it's like going out of its way for that. Or not. At that point it decided, you know, these are worth more points. It's not deciding anything, really. Oh, is it gonna do it now? See, there, that probably got a lot of points. Anyway, enough of this. we're playing Brain World. But yeah, that's fun to do sometimes, to be like, hey, there's this game out there. Also, the resolution of this game got messed up. Thank you. Like, oh, that's a cool game. Let me try to recreate it. This sounds just that game just going forever on loop. Peak server. Yeah, I should just put that in the corner of the screen. Half transparent. Maybe they'll keep the streams interesting. I need to stop jumping up there. That's not the fastest route anymore. Maybe I should recreate Rain World someday. And I mean specifically just the movement system. Like, what would a game look like? Take out, like, the physics system. And just have, like, you know, slide pounces, slides, rolls. You know, all of that kind of stuff. Hold on, I was supposed to eat these earlier. What would that kind of movement feel like? And then, like, design levels around that movement specifically. Because I'm not entirely sure that the physics are necessary for the movement system the way it is, right? I mean, there's some movement jank, you know, that's kind of a result of the physics, but if you just made it intentional mechanics, you know, it could probably still work out, right? because they aren't intentional. But also, I kind of wonder, like, what about, like, Celeste? How much of Celeste's movement tech is intentional? I feel like it's, like, most of it, right? I guess wave dashes were unintentional, right? But they kind of became intentional. Demo dashes. I don't know enough about Celeste to name everything. But, like, most of the, like, speedrun tech is, like, just intentional mechanics, right? Or, like, hitboxes being very generous that you can take advantage of. Rip. Oh, right. Jump storage. Oops, I need food. These bubble fruit are so annoying. You have to like spam grab to pick them up as you're moving. Just hanging out. It's weird that like just walking makes you like fall over. Like I just want to stay in the standing state to do this backflip, but I like run to this wall and I just like collapse. Like if you press up, you grab onto the pole. It doesn't even feel like it's very much faster to do that. Not sure. I'm not gonna eye pounce anywhere. It's impossible. Man, this like little bump here makes that a really annoying movement. Just like delay the roll, but then the roll is pretty slow if you wait that long. You know it would be really nice if lap mod worked. That'd be neat. That's a nice mod to have for this. Does it not? No? Unless I have to like go to like the workshop and like reinstall it or something. That just went straight up. Good job. Yeah, okay. I don't know, I guess I haven't tested it out, but the remix setting says it's not compatible. the remix menu. Was it the or no? I know you made like the gourmand stamina thing, right? Cursor, right? That mod that I've never installed. I mean, it should be. I should. Oh, actually, the cursor isn't even here at all. But I think I said it. So the OBS doesn't even see the cursor at all. I could have done the whole time. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, you missed all of the amazing games that I made that are also completely original. Yeah, that was almost perfect. I mean, not like I could have entered the pipe anyway. It's probably the cleanest entrance I've gotten yet. Ignore the timer, by the way. No, hold on. Hold on, okay, give me a moment. There we go. Yeah, I'll have a look at the mod in a second. But it should just work. Have a look, have a watch. And also keep that away from me, it has a question mark next to it. Ooh, you know what? There's another game that I want to show. Maybe 2 games, actually. I don't know. So yeah, a very functional version of the game right here. Oh, well, okay. It works until I click on it, and then it's like, eh. Sorry. Pomegranates don't exist. And lat mod. Oh, this actually shows up. I think when I tried this, well, I'm not sure. I guess it just works, but it's like yelling at me that it's the wrong version. Does it have a question mark? Yeah. It really wants pomegranates to exist. Oh, it looks like that mod does exist. Stop. Shoot, which button was it? I forget. The button to reset the room. Hold on, I'll look at the stream. Why? Yeah, it looks like there is a reset button. Impossible plank. You removed that? Well, I got it back. Oh, I thought I did get the workshop version. Or maybe the workshop version broke and it defaulted. No, that wouldn't make any sense at all. Also, the game is lagging because I forgot to turn it off. Ow. Yo, point golf. Where's that region? The golf region? You have to. That'd be pretty peak. That's a remix or a meta mode, game mode. There actually is another game mode. It's like Capture the Pearl. Is that a real thing that I saw? Yeah. Dude, that was a great jump out of the water. Why can't you do that all the time? Bonk. Oh, you don't mind? No, that's not a problem at all. This is just here. That's so funny. There's just this like dent in the wall. Am I playing as an axolotl? Pretty much. Yeah. I can do that for some reason. Oh, hold on. Let me open up another Game Maker game. It's gonna take a while to load. I never could have guessed. I used to call the aquatic lizards axolotls. And that was like, no, salamanders is more correct. But are they supposed to look like axolotls? I guess it doesn't matter. They're a made-up creature anyway. Where did people get the names for the water creatures? Was that like looking in game files, or was that like, did the developers say somewhere? I think it'd kind of be funny if we just had to make up names for everything. Game files. But you can't even trust game files, man. I mean, the developers aren't naming some random files in game the official name of the creature. Usually, you know, those are, that's not where that decision is made, right? Devs did refer to them directly. Have they referred to every single individual creature, though? You know, you can just say the devs are also just making it up. They put the speeder timer at the top of console. It should be in the remix settings. I think that's on console, right? To put the speedrun timer up there. I do know that the like sea slug creatures have like 20 different names. I think they're called like tardigrades, but like that they're not tardigrades. They just aren't. They don't look like them. They're like not like microscopic. They're poisonous. That's just like I don't like that name. Loaches. I mean, those things are such a bizarre creature. It's hard to like name them anything. That's a fish. Yeah, they're pretty much a fish. Yeah, every animal is oh great, the stream is dying. Oh, fun time is over. Every animal is a fish already, so it's not wrong. No, I think Blizzard Lizard is the official name. And you can shorten it to Blizzards if you want. How am I doing that? Black magic. Did I eat food? I did not. Whatever. I'm not gonna worry about that. Whoa. That was an angle. Right, I always forget. I have the shelter here. Also, the sky whales, they look like catfish. So we got slow cats, and then we have whale cats. Truly. The roll interruption. No fun allowed. Is it generally like fast rolls or like normal rolls are less likely to be interrupted? I forget which one it is. Regular rolls. Fast rolls. Thanks, Framework community. Maybe this is kind of a messed up thing to think. I kind of like misinformation when a game is recently released. I think peak Lethal Company was like the few months after it released when everyone was just spewing misinformation left and right. Specifically on like how to deal with creatures or like the way that they acted. Like the baboon hawks. People thought that you could yell at them to scare them away, but that's just not true at all. But people kept repeating it over and over again and shared that information to each other. That just became like everyone would say like, oh, by the way, make sure to like yell at these guys, and it did absolutely nothing. But people did it anyway. And it wasn't until like a bunch of people like looked at the code and was like, okay, these are how they work. And even then, like, how many Lethal Company players are gonna like look at that information? They probably still believe. Also, like the bracket room, like one specific room, people thought that's where the bracket spawned. I don't know. I think that kind of stuff is just really funny. People thought that the portals for the Watcher, they thought they were random. It's like completely like every single portal in the whole game is just random. They're all random. They all go to a random place. And like I've seen multiple videos where people say that's how it works. Which is a little bit concerning because it's actually like some people like base their opinions off of that. They're like, oh, that's really bad that it's random. Even though it's not true at all. We got a video for that. Oh yeah, we're playing Minecraft. It's broken. You know what? Just ignore that. Oh, I can't say Minecraft anymore. I keep forgetting. Okay, we're playing this game. I don't know what it's called. Actually, I don't know what any of my games are called. You can move around. You can swing its pickaxe to dig. And do I have a bunch of junk in my inventory? I do. Let me restart it. You can mine. I can't mine iron yet, so I have to get stone. Oh yeah, there's some Watcher stuff. So I got a bunch of stone, and then let's craft a pickaxe. And I have this new pickaxe, and now I can mine this. I forgot Terrain existed. That's probably a better comparison. And I get this iron, and then use this to craft a pickaxe. And then let's go get some gold, I guess. And then whatever this is. What can I make with this? I can make something with gold here. This wall jumping too. What does this have to do with Minesweeper? Hold on. Actually, this pickaxe is gonna break, and now I have to. See, this is a minor problem. Your tools keep breaking. It's like, well, now I gotta get more iron, and now this tool is gonna break. So now I gotta make another stone pickaxe, and then use this pickaxe to mine the iron. And then now I can get this again to make another pickaxe to get this gold. And then with the gold, hold on, I think I need one more piece. With the gold, I can make a staff to cast. Oh, it's the wrong sprite. Don't worry about that. To cast a magic spell. And I'm sure it does a lot of damage. Do I have a dummy to shoot over here? Heroic mention. Yeah, this square. Bam. It did 777 damage. But what's a lot more interesting than that is if I get some more of this. Let's make a spear, because this is fun. So I have a spear I can stab with. It's a little bit hard to aim. He's up in the air like this. This is a pretty nice weapon, right? But let's also do this. You can pogo with it. You can launch yourself sideways with it. Also, there's like infinite coyote time because I thought it'd be funny. Let's also get some more iron. The movement, yeah, I like the movement. Let's get some more of this. My pickaxe broke again. Shoot. Hold on. Actually, that's not a big deal. Let's make a bow, and then make some arrows with the stone. I'll make arrows, but I'll also make some daggers. Okay. So the daggers, you could throw them. Inspired by Terraria. The way they start spinning. These are a pretty fun weapon, but also they're a little bit weak since they're so easy to craft. But the bow is fun to use because you can do this. It's got a lot more range. Cool movement. Yeah, this is definitely enough to make it better than those games. There's some more resources. Let's actually go this direction. Here's the cold zone. And movement tech in this game, I mean, you're seeing it. Oh no, that material isn't in the game yet, right? Because I was gonna add a new area. And there's this stuff, but I can't actually mine this yet. I don't even have enough iron for it. So hold on. Go back here. This chest gives you every item. Here's like the strongest spear. It's a lot larger. Does more damage, but it's also kind of worse for movements. Because it's slower. It does a lot of damage. Better bow. Hold on, do I have the right arrows? Give her all this other stuff. Oh yeah, 141 damage. You can also kind of shoot it a bit slower if you want. I know, I'm so such an artist. That's it. I don't think there's anything else here. There's like no enemies. There's no the idea that actually this game was inspired by me like a long time ago. This was like one of my oldest game ideas. The idea is that there's an enemy. I guess they'd be on the left. Imagine the wall of flesh from Terraria, but it's just the entire game is just that one fight. Maybe they'd be to the left, maybe they'd be to the right. But they'd basically constantly be chasing you, and you'd have to... Well, the thing is, like, do you want to damage them? Because what I could do is I could get like some random like stone daggers and throw it at them. But this doesn't really do that much damage, right? So what I could do is try to spend time collecting resources to get better weapons, like this bow here, right? And now this deals a lot more damage. But I had to spend a lot of time to get these materials while also running away from the boss, right? So there's a bit of a trade-off of like how much time do you spend collecting resources, how much time do you spend fighting the boss, and like trying to run away and survive. But then I realized I'd have to like make like a boss. I'd have to like make enemies and stuff, and I lost motivation to make this. And that's usually what happens for all my projects. Anyway. I've seen like one video about Hyper Rogue. I was like, oh, this is like a kind of neat concept. But it also feels like the most niche game like ever. Like, what are the chances that there's 2 people who like know a lot about the game in this Rain World livestream chat? This might be the worst room in the whole run. Just this one tunnel. Which, if I was like Survivor, it probably would not be that bad. I might actually enjoy this as Survivor more. Is it hard to get into? It's like impossible. If you have very low expectations, it's pretty fun. I use Game Maker, which is kind of like the like really easy, you know, beginner friendly game engine. Godot might also be pretty good. Swimming character when swim. Mm-hmm. I'd say like just gameplay is pretty easy to make. Game development starts to get complicated when you start making the actual like game, like connection between levels or like upgrade systems that are like long term and not just like +1 damage. Forgot to do the pounce there. Or like just like making systems that are like possible to scale. Because yeah, I can make like one enemy pretty easily, but like, you know, do I want to make a new enemy for like, or do I want to go through that whole process for every enemy that's in the game? It'd probably be easier to like make one framework to make enemies and then, you know, base all of them off of that. But like, how do I want to make that system? What abilities are all the enemies gonna have that like shit they share in common? Like, I don't know. A lot of questions like that. I don't know the answers to. And it probably depends on the project, and it's the thing that you get from experience that I don't have. Which also, I guess it's kind of unnecessary, because if you just want to make a game, then you just kind of skip all that and just like do stuff, just add mechanics, add, you know, this and that. Ah. Dropping fruit left and right. Yeah, I mean, like, why bother learning any skill ever when in like 5 years AI is gonna do it perfectly anyways? I forgot to eat the fruit. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I did say that earlier today, right? Yeah, that way the humans will get to do all the boring stuff, and the AI will be the ones making arts and being creative. Just as we intended. You could probably vault, and then to give yourself more height to do the plunk easier. You know what else we should do? We should start working on AI to speedrun for us, right? Yeah, exactly. And then we can set up like live streams. Well, they'll probably set it up for us, you know? Set up live streams so you can watch the AI like speedrun against itself and continuously improve for all eternity until it's perfect. And then I realized, you know, I'll be able to make more copies of myself to practice the speedrun more if I like kill all humans first and convert all matter on Earth into computers for the sake of speedrunning Rain World. Yeah, why watch the live stream when AI can do it for you? I mean, the AI can already write chat messages for you, right? Might as well just get them to watch the stream for you too. Hell yeah. That should not have worked the way it did. Oh, did I already talk to you? Just have nothing to say? Oh, the rain, that's why. You know, why would you be playing the game? You could get the AI to play the game for you. So that way it's an AI live streamer playing the game and doing the commentary so that AI viewers can watch it and comment on it. And then there's no humans involved at all. It's basically utopia at that point. It's easier to have a world record if you kill off your competitors. That's true, that's true. Anyway, I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna end stream. Has the watcher been updated yet? Nope. Maybe tomorrow. I think I'm gonna be doing this run until the watcher gets fixed for me. I can't really do speedruns right now. Oh, how's the leaderboards stuff gonna happen? Is there any difference between like runs on the new version for like downpour and like base game stuff? Because I assume that there aren't like big enough changes to like make it something separate. Alright. Thanks everyone for watching. I didn't actually do any real attempts today. I also did not get a sub 7 run, even without creatures, so yeah, it's going great. I don't know, I think I want to focus on moon percent for a bit. It's actually a pretty fun run. yeah, thanks everyone for watching. See ya.